Hi everyone, welcome back to Faith and Flour. I'm Robin, and in today's video, I'm back in the pantry. I am talking about how I am building a 3-month food supply for our family, or a prepper pantry. I have lots more information about this and on this series in the description box, so definitely check out my playlist and other videos, along with the other resources that I have for you there. And I am going to be talking to you today about how I am building out our prepper pantry, how we are using everything in our prepper pantry on a rotating basis, how I shop and keep track of those things, and how I'm trying to organize them. I did a grocery haul at our local grocery store, which here in Texas is H-E-B. We aren't members of Costco or any other box clubs like that at the moment, although I am looking into the possibility of doing that. But what I am doing is looking for items that my family uses on a regular basis to stock up on when they go on sale. So for instance, I got a lot of cereal this week because all of these things were on sale. I also picked up some peanut butter, lots of can items. All of these things were a pretty good price. Our grocery store is limiting a lot of canned items to just 3 at the moment. So when I see those things at a good price, I like to pick them up. I also like to make sure we have a good stock of rice on hand. We use that all the time. Rice is a great grain to add to dishes that I make with a lot of fresh produce. I'm not showing you the fresh produce and the things that I bought for our freezer in this video because I'm concentrating on the extended pantry, the things that will have a longer shelf life, and I use these things in recipes once or twice a week to rotate them in so that we are always eating the things that we store. I have a few videos where I've shared some of those recipes, so they will be in the playlist, which I'll have in the description box below. So definitely check those out if you are interested in learning how to create and maintain a prepper pantry in your home. In addition to all of the can items, I also picked up some more of this Better Than bouillon. You guys know how much I love using this in our recipes, especially for soups. And once in a while, I pick up some extra gluten-free items for Peyton, who eats gluten-free. Earlier during the pandemic, when the shelves were cleared, gluten-free items were very scarce, so I always want to make sure to have some extras for him on hand. We absolutely love Mexican and Tex-Mex dishes in our home. I think that they are a great way to combine the items from your pantry with fresh produce. Plus, these are often very quick and easy recipes for busy weeknights. These Frontera sauces are amazing, and so I like to make sure that we have a good stock of those. My best strategy for stocking up our pantry with the items that we actually eat is to just write down everything that I'm using each week. So that way I can add those things to my grocery list, and I have quickly been able to see the items that we use every week. And we do vary our recipes from week to week, but there's always those staple go-to recipes with our pantry items that I make over and over again. So those are the things I'm always looking for when I do my grocery shopping. I just keep a pad of paper right on the pantry shelf, and as I pull things out, I write things down. I have also gotten in the habit of writing the best by dates on the top of the cans in Sharpie. This way, I am always sure to use the oldest items first and the newest items last, therefore keeping the items in our pantry as fresh as possible. And if you have looked for those dates on the tops of your cans or the bottoms of the cans, you know how teeny tiny and hard to read they can be. So this way, the date is very obvious. I can quickly grab what I need, and I don't waste any time looking for those dates, and I don't risk not using something in our pantry and having it go to waste. After a few grocery trips, I started to realize that I needed to do a little better job organizing things in here, especially with the canned goods. The cans are the biggest issue for me. I find it hard to arrange them in a way that I can see what I have and access them easily, and the overflow that I put up on the top shelf is just sometimes hard to manage. The open shelving that we have in our pantry is great, but even so, with cans, some get pushed to the back and it's hard to always see your inventory, and it's hard to rotate things when they're stacked up, and some cans just don't stack really well either, so there's always the possibility that something is going to fall. And so I searched out some solutions and found these Simple Houseware stackable can racks. I got them on Amazon and I put them in my Amazon store because I really love this. They are a great solution. I have seen similar ones in some of my YouTube friends' pantries and always thought that they would be a great way to go. And so I was happy to find these and to put them to work. They were really easy to assemble. It just took a few minutes. The instructions were very easy and there weren't a ton of pieces to put together. It's pretty self-explanatory, and in no time I had a couple of these racks ready to go in my pantry. The package included some spare pieces, which is really nice, so I'm going to hold on to those if we ever move or I want to rearrange things, and I'm keeping them in a little Ziploc bag that I've labeled along with the instructions so that it will be easy to find. Then I set to work rearranging and reorganizing. I had been using this expandable sort of riser set, but I really was never a big fan of it. There's a seam in the middle, so you can't set cans on that particular part, and if the cans were very wide, they wobbled on there, which didn't really help the situation, so I'm kind of glad to be rid of that. I'm going to donate it, and then it gave me an opportunity to clean behind it as well, and it really needed it. I did have 2 racks to put on this shelf, but before I cleared the space for the second one, I got excited and started trying to load up the cans and seeing how many it was going to hold, but eventually I got around to clearing the space for the other one. I like to store things once they're open in airtight containers, so I took a couple of minutes to put cereal and things like that in those, and that way the pantry would be all set and ready to go. I am so pleased with just making this small change and how much it's going to help the functionality of our pantry. So it accomplishes several things that I was looking to do, which is to make the cans easier to access without having a problem with them falling over and things like that, and also making our rotation system easier. So I can put the newer cans in the back and the older ones are right up front for us to grab. I can sort things and put them like things with like, and so when I am asking someone to go in the pantry and grab something for me, it will be so much easier for them to do. I still do have some excess or overflow things that I'm keeping in the top of the pantry. In fact, I think I might like to get one more rack, but I'm not quite sure where I'll put it or how I'll arrange things. But if I do, I will share that with you guys. And in the meantime, when we use up something that is on the accessible shelves or in the can rack, I can look up in this section, grab whatever I need to replenish it, and then I will also know that I need to put that on our grocery list for the next time. This top shelf is actually a really great place to store the extra inventory of cereal because those things are lightweight and easy to grab from below. And then I have these baskets with some extra things, also some snack items, and those are also easy to access because we can just grab those baskets. And then in this section, I've got all of our sort of beverage things grouped together plus some supplements. And then I've got a whole section for gluten-free baking. That's what's in most of these glass jars. I've got this little basket that contains things like vanilla and cocoa, just baking items. I've got some baking powder in there. I've grouped those things together so that whenever I want to do some gluten-free baking, I can go to this section and everything that I need will be right here. I also keep pretty much this whole shelf gluten-free for Peyton, so this basket contains his snacks, and then I've got some baking mixes, pizza crust, things like that all grouped together here. Next to that, I have somewhat of a random assortment of things in glass jars. I've got applesauce, and behind that, various sort of pickled items. I've got the green chilies here too. They seem to go with this group of things, plus those can stack really well. And then next to that, I've got all of our gluten-free pasta. On the next shelf down, I left a little space next to the can racks for our canned chicken and tuna and all of the dried beans that I keep in jars. And on the other side, I have a lot of dry goods that I like to keep in these Tupperware modular make containers. Glass is definitely best for food storage, but I really do like these Tupperware containers for our dry goods. I've had them for years, they work great, and if you guys are interested in any of the containers you see in my pantry, I have as many as I could find in my Amazon store. This area just below probably looks the messiest, but I promise there is an order here. So I have all of our canned tomato goods, chicken stock, pizza and pasta sauce, salsa, bouillon, and then below this wire rack I made a drawer to keep some other things like all of those sauces I was showing you earlier, some more little bouillon packets, and in the back I have some sun-dried tomatoes. Moving down to the right, I've got a little space between these shelves that I have pushed in all of our jellies and jams and related items. I've got syrup, molasses, and then I have some cream that is shelf stable that I like to keep here too, along with peanut butter and more baked goods and another little basket that I made into a drawer just below. So I've got chocolate chips and sweetened condensed milk and some dried milk that I would all use for baking. And over again to the right, I've got a whole section for condiments. And if you keep working your way over to the right, I've got some breakfast items. So I've got bread, oatmeal, and our cereals in all of these containers. The bottom shelf of the pantry holds all the paper goods and things that we don't really use on a daily basis, but we have bought them in the past for parties and things like that, so I hold on to them and store them here. And next to that, I have baskets for our potatoes and onions. And in a previous video, I showed how I used to keep those things together, but I'm not anymore, so thank you guys for the advice on keeping those separated. At the end of our pantry, I keep some baskets and serving trays on the top shelves. I keep our Dutch ovens and appliances here too. The open shelves make it so much easier for me to grab those things when I need them. And on the bottom shelf, I keep all of our cookie sheets, cutting boards, trays, and some bakeware. And then at the very bottom and over to the corner here is where we keep our extra dog food. I hope you enjoyed this little update on how this system is working for our family. I hope that it gave you some motivation and inspiration as you develop a prepper pantry of your own. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with me today. If you liked today's video, I'd really appreciate if you'd give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. It's easy. All you have to do is click on my picture. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful week.